Sound.
All right, hello, everyone. We're gonna call our traffic commission meeting to order. Today is Thursday, June 8th at 6:08.
Sound.
All right, hello, everyone.
Hold on,
We're gonna
hold on.
call our traffic commission meeting to order.
Okay, roll call, Chief McMahon,
Here.
Chief Hollowell,
Here.
Michael Reese. All right. Say what? We have a forum. Oh, so we have a forum. And to move forward, we got fulfill the agenda.
Okay, we need a motion for approval of the agenda.
Yes.
Motion for approval of the agenda. Pardon me? Okay,
You can offer a second.
I'll offer a second as well. Can you call the roll?
Okay, approval of the agenda, Chief McMahon,
Yes.
Chief Hollowell,
Yes.
all right. Approval of the agenda moves forward.
All right. According to the agenda, we have up next is traffic on Oakland and Davison Service Drive. Does anyone want to speak to that? Anyone online want to speak to traffic regarding Oakland, Davison Service Drive? What is this about speeding? What, yeah, it's speeding, disregarding traffic control, I'm sure.
Yes, is anybody on there that want to have a conversation about the vote?
Our battle. Our battle. Would you like to speak?
No, not at this time.
Okay, Westmount Asset Management. Would you like to speak? Yeah, they're unmuted. You're unmuted. You can talk.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. How are you guys doing today?
All right, yourself?
Wonderful. So we control a lot of asset on Oakland. So we want to join on this meeting, kind of see where we can kind of lead in terms of helping out in terms of traffic. We keep getting complaints regarding some of the factories and tenants that we housed, people crashing into homes and things like that. So we tried to come before the mayor's office probably about 2 years ago in regards to putting some speed bumps down, and we were denied access for that. So we want to come to this meeting, kind of see what we can lend a hand in and see what we can do on our end to afford it, some fixings on our end.
Where exactly were you trying to install speed bumps?
So we were going to do it within our whole entire plaza in Oakland. So we were going to be stretching them from where the building of Faurecia sits all the way down to where DTE is at.
And in the past, you said you submitted a proposal for this?
So we had a conversation with someone from the past mayor, I would say their office, and they denied it. They wanted us to pay like $40,000 to try to get something going, but astronomically that wasn't going to be possible for us to do.
What, and I'm only asking because I'm not familiar with it. What was the $40,000 fee for?
That's the issue where we came about. The $40,000 supposed to be for the permit, and then our cost for the actual speed bumps was only $5,000 for them to put in the speed bumps. And that was for 6 speed bumps. So we were going to put in 16 of them, and 40,000 supposed to be for the permit. This is the conversation we had on site with the mayor, and we were going to spend $40,000 for a permit to put in speed bumps on our property. Now we do know some of the area is, I guess, Highland Park owned, and that's what we came to the city to try to get that done. And then we also try to put some, street lights where the islands are, and that was kind of pushed back as well.
Okay, so you said you wanted to install streetlights on the islands within the plaza or outside the plaza?
outside the plaza, actually on Oakland.
On Oakland?
Yep.
Okay.
Because
Is
we
that
also,
something that you guys are still considering as a possibility?
yeah, so there's a couple different options we're looking to do in terms of safety. One, there's nothing we can do to excuse how people drive in their personal vehicles. Everyone seems to believe that we can. We've got hit with 3 lawsuits in regards to people's houses or property being damaged. There's nothing we can do in regards to that. There's nothing the tenants can do in regards to that. But what we can do is try to figure out a solution. So we were gonna see about putting in maybe a traffic light. Someone said put a stop sign. I think that the people that operate in the factories will run the stop signs over. So I think that's even pleasable. So we're just kind of wanted to kind of lend in. We did reach out to Wayne County Sheriff to try to help and consist of have like in Detroit to have officers on site within the area to try to patrol and bring some of that speeding down, especially overnight. Which is an option. We're going through budgeting on our end to try to make that possible. But then also we want to bring, once we were prepared and bring in front of council, taking that contract from Detroit and bringing it to Highland Park, since Highland Park does have a police department of their own, where we will provide a vehicle, and we were looking to have, some type of shift where we can have a Highland Park police officer cover the whole entire night, and kind of more so traffic ease with the semi trucks, and then also within, public order within the plaza.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously that's the whole idea of the traffic commission, that we're trying to work with, residents, local businesses and obviously any other outside agencies to make it a safer place. So I appreciate you, coming on tonight and offering some suggestions.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's part of the agenda, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, the stop sign that's on both ends of the circle drive that belongs to the city. Are those signs visible?
when you mean by visible, like being blocked?
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I said, are those signs visible to the people coming in and out?
Now, when you say visible, are like brush blocking them? Can you go into detail when you say
Well, I don't know if brush blocking them or if it's just any, the reason I'm asking this is because I'm trying to make sure that we know that everything is clear over there and there should not be any reason for them not to see that stop sign.
Yeah, so I couldn't contest to, because I haven't been on site to the property to see exactly where these stop signs are fixed. But I do know in the past, we've had stop signs in different traffic devices in the future. They've been knocked down in crashes.
Okay, okay. That's good information. I'm gonna be walking through there on this Saturday, so I'll take a look at that. And make sure that, there's no excuses for them not to be stopping. Because people make up stuff. So at this point, I just want to check. I'm quite sure it is, but I just want to check and make sure because I can see the stop sign from my house.
Yeah, I would never not think there wouldn't be one, but I do know that, again, some of the tenants, they leave there in a reckless manner and things are hit, unfortunately, and knocked down. And really, we have never gone through the replacement portion of that. But there should be different traffic devices in place where people should be able to stop and should stop. Again, we've had, talks of putting in speed bumps. We do maintain the islands in Highland Park in terms of landscaping, so we don't know if we can put something there. And then also a big thing is figuring some signage for the semi trucks. We get the semi trucks may be an issue for the residents. No one wants to hear a big semi truck at 3 o'clock in the morning. But again, we don't know, what tenant they're going to. And then we also let the tenants know they cannot sit on Oakland. But unfortunately, we have no say so if they do so or not. So that's another thing we're looking to try to put in place.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Holloway, you had something?
Question for you, Chief Howell, Highland Park Fire. I want to know Do you know the sizes or the depth of these roadblocks that you're looking for?
That I don't know. We were gonna have a contractor, so we were gonna put some in that actually went in the ground. But those were kind of, we put some in the Faurecia and they tore them up when they came and did the snow. So the contractor said we shouldn't put any kind of metal ones. We should do asphalt. So we don't know exactly in terms of length or in terms of devices we're gonna use for that. As of yet.
The reason I'm asking is because of the trucks. And our tanks on them. I don't want to lose a tank from going over a speed bump, you know?
Say that one more time.
The reason I'm asking is because of the tanks on the trucks. If the guys are 2 o'clock in the morning, they get a run over there for some reason, then I don't want them to go like off-roading to get past those speed bumps.
If you have suggestion of the height, I don't know the requirements of that. We can definitely, utilize that information. Again, this is just things that we're looking to do.
I'm not trying to discourage you. I just want that. I was just curious about that. That's all.
No, again, if you have the suggestion of where they should be, especially for public safety, if you guys can let us know what we need in terms of that, the mayor's actually going to be doing a walkthrough. Let us pinpoint out what we need so we can put these things in place. Again, with the summertime coming, we have Ford Motor Company coming in, different other tenants that are coming in, which causes more people to obviously be employed in Highland Park. So that's going to cause more traffic, and whatever we can do to minimize, especially in the wintertime when we have snow, minimize these particular issues, then we're for it.
Okay, can we have your name and contact information, sir?
Say it one more time.
Can we have your name and contact information?
Yeah, should I send in the chat, or I think the mayor should have it?
He can send it in the chat.
You can send it in the chat.
Perfect, will do.
Thank you.
Well, just so I can address you, what is your first name, sir?
Jordan.
Pardon me?
Jordan.
Jordan. Okay. Jordan, do you have any other suggestions that you guys brought forth in the past that you'd like to get out tonight? It sounds like you guys had a couple, some pretty decent ideas, speed bumps, lighting on Oakland. Those are certainly things that I think could help towards public safety. Is there any other ideas that you guys had?
We're looking to try to, one thing is we're trying to not create a fund, but look for ways we can keep, if we can't put, devices and something in place to keep the residents' homes more secure, whether that's a guardrail, something of that nature, something small, something that's not too cost effective, but something we can eliminate, if a vehicle does go off-roading from one of our plants, someone's house is not getting crashed into.
Okay, all right.
My name is Diana Graves and I am a resident on East Grand.
What's your address?
Diana, Diana Graves.
Address.
247 East Grand. My family has lived on Grand since before Davidson was expanded. So we've been privy to and heard crash bang ever since Davidson has been expanded. He spoke about guardrails. The last 2 years, my home has been, just recently, about 3 months ago, F-150 ran through my fence, through my garage and damaged my home. I was sitting at the table and had it gone a few more inches to the left, it would have hit a gas line. Fortunately, I wasn't cooking. 2 years prior to that, they entered from, there's a street sign that indicates the freeway east and west. They entered from behind my house, went between my house and a tree, damaged my house, damaged my fence, sideswiped my car, and drove on down Oakland. If you ride down Oakland, all of Oakland is lit up except for the residential area between Gerald and Grant. There's only one street sign, one street light there at Grant. It's never on. And everything else on Oakland is lit. I've had people drive over my driveway to get onto Oakland. I had people drive over my driveway to get onto Grand.
Just for clarity, are you talking about where the cul-de-sac is?
I am on that house right there at the dead end.
Okay, so they're going up over the curb, over the grass and down the curb. I got you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but just within these past 3 years, I've had 2 accidents that have destroyed my house. So he's speaking of guardrails or boulders or something. It's definitely a good idea to put something in that area right there at East Grand. Because if you look at it, the way the house is situated, we're so far away from the street. There's no reason for them to be hitting on us. But there's trees that are overgrown where you can't see the sidewalk, you can't see the street, you can't see my house from Jerry up to Davidson. You cannot see anything within that residential area. And it's just a small area right there. But within the last couple of years, people are drunk. I've had someone try to cross over my driveway in the wintertime to get onto Oakland. Her car was stuck in the driveway. So definitely something needs to be done.
Okay.
I know at one time I wasn't privy to it, but I guess there was some conversation prior about a sound wall or something being put around in that area. Is that something that's going to be considered, or exactly what is your plan for that residential area? Because there's no protection for me.
So, basically the whole idea of tonight is to try and get the concerns from residents and try and document some of the concerns. And then see what exactly we can do to, alleviate some of the problems you guys are experiencing. So, as to tell you, I have a plan at this moment, I don't, but now that I know what the problem is, and we know what the problem is, we can, we can work on trying to address those issues.
Also in that area, I've even mentioned to the mayor, the direction of the traffic, the flow of traffic in that area, because that is such a bad stretch of Oakland. I've seen, trucks, 18-wheelers on the other side. I've seen cars coming towards my house from the freeway because of the way that they turn. All of those signs need to be redirected. It's bad. We've watched and heard things since they've expanded that freeway. So it's just been like that at that point. Anytime I can sit on my porch and 4 or 5 people are coming within the wrong direction, having to turn around and go the other way, or they're trying to bypass the potholes and they're driving on the other side of the road. Wrong, but that's what they're doing. That whole intersection here is terrible.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, certainly, updating the signage is probably a good idea. And that's something that's within our scope. I know that, where we could, we could put one-way signs, do not enter traffic signs and things like that. Because I honestly, as a police officer, I've responded to people who've turned and they legitimately did it by an accident. They didn't, there was no malicious intent. It's a confusing section there. So I agree
The
with you.
sign tells them to turn when the sign should actually be past the intersection for you to turn. They're looking at that sign and they're turning there, which is.
Correct. Yeah, so I agree with you. I think updating the signage in that area is something that will probably,
They don't, do not enter on one side and then the signage,
yeah,
the way it is. I've seen it happen too. They actually turn, left, no, right, onto the wrong side of the street going by her house. She lives on Grant. So they're over, you got that little bite out middle.
Yep.
They're going past the bite out middle and turning that way and going back over where cars are coming around that circle. And I guarantee the streets are very bumpy right there. So it kind of slows them down a little bit, but that's a basic accident. And then the other way, instead of turning left over by the west side of the service drive. They're turning actually on the east side
Yeah.
of the service drive and then going around. So that kind of stuff is happening right there too. And I'm quite sure you guys know because you go to the accidents
Mhm.
that happen. But these are legitimate concerns, and this is why we're having this meeting, is so that people can come and talk about what's really they're seeing.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I agree. The signage needs some work over there. I think that's something, we can get with, the DPW, and that's something that I think we can make happen pretty quickly. So, yeah, thank you very much for sharing.
Maybe even a sign in that island or even building that island up some more because now it's just so, I guess, worn. And even the sidewalk on Oakland on that side, it was just so worn, it just. The flow of the traffic should go, but it doesn't. So, that whole thing is-
Yeah. I mean,
Well, you know, we're gonna be redoing Oakland Avenue starting from Davidson South first, and then hopefully we'll be able to do this next part from Davidson North. Which that island will probably, I don't know if it'll stay there or if we don't know what kind of construction they'll be doing to fix it. That's up to the engineers and the people that's doing it, so that will be phase 2 of what's happening. So once we finish phase 1, we could probably can engage a little bit of what phase 2 might look. So I understand that. Oh, I'm living there close enough. I mean, it always sounds like the trucks is actually falling into our house because they're hitting the bumps and
Right.
shaking the houses. So I'm hoping that once phase 1 is complete and it's smoother, that gives us a smoother ride on there. And then there's also some concern about the trucks being on Oakland and where they were supposed to be exiting to the freeway.
Mhm.
Or were they supposed to come out right there at California and go down to the other way? Or were they supposed to exit out on the end and go to Davidson and then go around to Preston? So that's something that needs to be looked into. Where were they supposed to actually exit out of the plaza? Is he still there? Mr. Jordan?
Yep,
I am here.
Do you have anything that states whether or not, where the trucks are supposed to exit and enter from? I know you have those two places, but were they supposed to be going out to Davidson and then taking the Davidson Service Drive? Or the Davidson Freeway?
So there's nothing specific on where they can transport, where they can go. I don't think we can even legally do that, make them to go toward a certain way, because once they get on obviously the public road, we don't have anything from there.
I thought at one time years ago, I don't know, maybe I'm not thinking, I might not have the right information, but that was the reason that circle drive was made so that they would not be on the Oakland all the way from Davidson down to Connect. So I'll look into that.
Yeah, because I know they can exit from the plaza directly through the plaza.
Yeah, and I thought it was an exit right on the other side too, that was supposed to lead right into Davidson to that service drive. The service drive is so messed up. So I don't know. But that's something that we can look into. Thank you for coming on. Truly appreciate you coming and at least want to work with us to see how we can help alleviate the problems. I know you're probably tired of me yelling about the people on Davidson Sleep, their trucks or whatever. So, I mean, on Oakland and their trucks. So I really appreciate you stepping up and coming in and trying to work with us to get something done.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate coming. On my end, it says chat disabled, so I can just respond back to whoever sent the email and I can, send our information over.
I had another question. Is there a designated parking area within the plaza for trucks that are waiting to unload?
So trucks that are waiting to unload, should either one be on the particular tenant's property, but there's no specific parking. They should either be somewhere in a bay or they should be somewhere on their property, not on Oakland.
Okay.
One question. Nice to get a question. You have some other people on there, Mr. Lapp,
Yeah,
let me see if they have.
Angela Lugo Thomas.
Somebody has their hand up, I think she has.
Yep, I already unmuted her.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry I wasn't able to attend in person. I really wanted to be there. But I have a question. I know you all, I joined in a little bit late, so I know you were talking to the Oakland Plaza people about the truck traffic. But are you all following the what's happening in Detroit where they're trying to put in a truck route ordinance and also just truck traffic ordinance because they're having issues with truck traffic in residential neighborhoods as well as just impacting the street. As we all know, the Means Logistics Park has not opened yet, but that's going to be another situation that we're going to start facing. Have you all considered starting to work on something like that so that there's an ordinance in place working with city council that will tell, facilities like those where they can, travel through a city where they can idle, all of those things. I think I heard the gentleman say that they don't really have a truck route or they can't really mandate a truck route, but I believe cities can, municipalities can.
This Chief Hollowell, Highland Park Fire, ma'am. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but there are weight limits on roads, which we already have guidelines for those. We would have to see exactly what street you're referring to see, because they may already be restricted as it is now because of weight requirements. So we would have to see what exact area that you're referring to so we can find out.
Mrs. Thomas, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I don't have like a specific area because it hasn't opened yet, but what I'm indicating is that there are areas in Detroit right now that are dealing with a situation with truck traffic that I'm hoping that we can avoid when we get an increase of truck traffic here in Highland Park, because we know that it's coming. So I'm just hoping that maybe we don't have to wait until we have, residents complaining and people upset about the increased truck traffic, and we can actually put some things in place beforehand. That's basically what I was saying. Other than that, I also live off of John R. And as you all know, probably from all the accidents that have happened along John R. with people running stop signs, or just speeding, that I'm hoping that something can be done about adding, if not speed bumps, because that's not the only solution, but there's other traffic calming measures that can be added. And I'm hoping that some of those can be explored so that we can stop having we've had some people actually get hurt, but we've had some too many close calls along John R., especially between Davidson and the city limit of Tennyson.
We need to look at the signage. For both of our questions, there needs to be the signage. There should be signs on streets that said no traffic, trucks, or there should be signs.
Weight limits.
Yeah, all of that. There should be signs that you can post. So also fire routes, same thing. Signage that should say, something about fire routes, no parking on one side of the street. So what we're doing now, basically, Mr. Thomas, is to take the information and then we could put that in and categorize it, or they can put that in categorizing and figure out what needs to be done as far as, is it more signage? Can we look at policies and procedures for trucks? Is there something in state law that prohibit us from doing things that, before we put things out So there's an investigation that has to happen, along with whatever signs are missing. In the area, we know there's quite a few signage missing.
And I can also add that I sat in on some of the preliminary meetings of the means group when they were putting the traffic plan together. And some of the idea was, that there would be an entry point off of, Davison into the plaza, and that they would exit through Detroit off of, Oakland. It is what was initially, described to us. That way there wouldn't be heavy truck traffic on Hamilton. So I don't know if that's still in place, but that's certainly something we could discuss with them as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. McPherson, McPherson,
Muted, it looks like.
no, they gotta unmute themselves. I just sent see if I can get them to unmute.
Hello,
Okay.
Hello.
hi, I'm a resident on Beresford Street, and I'm wondering, we see a extremely large amount of traffic coming down Beresford. Whether it's going to, well, I will gather that it's to go to the gas station and other things that are on the corner of Beresford and Woodward, but the amount of traffic for a residential street is ridiculous, no matter where they're going. Part of the traffic is people coming from the industrial park on Oakland, cutting up Winona, the third block, and cutting over Brush, and then coming up Beresford to go to the corner of Beresford and Woodward. I'm just wondering what can be done to alleviate the heavy amount of traffic on this residential street and others, because it's not just Beresford they cut up, but I mean, being a resident on this street, it's just a ridiculous amount of traffic.
Good. So I can tell you some of the things that we've been working on, and we actually have traffic enforcement details that are going on in that area. We try to focus them on times when the plants are having lunch breaks and shift changes, because that's when we're noticing the speed violations and the disregarding traffic control devices. So we are trying to focus in that area. We're aware that there's a substantial amount of traffic going through the neighborhood. And it's exactly what you said. They're cutting through there to get to the gas stations or to get to local stores. And, they're on these restricted lunch breaks. So, they're in a hurry. And, so that's definitely something we're aware of in terms of the police department. And we have stepped up enforcement in that area. But, certainly we're open to any other suggestions as well. To limit the traffic from the industrial area through the residential area.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily have any suggestions. I mean, aside from restricting entry into the residential area altogether, but I understand that traffic for the trucks has to pass, has to have a way to get through. Not that the trucks cut through the residential area, but that island has to have breaks in it for the trucks to get through. And so those breaks allow for the car traffic to pass over. It'd be nice. My only suggestion is that it would be nice if the entry points could be moved so that they're not directly adjacent to a street, but that probably wouldn't matter anyway. They would just jump and cut over. But I don't know, stepped up enforcement, or if officers could be actually positioned on Brush, maybe at Brush or John R. in the area. I've never seen anybody get pulled over in this area that's cutting through. So just putting that out there. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. All right. Anyone else have anything to add, in terms of, missing signage or any traffic concerns? Anyone else is seeing other than what's been addressed? Anyone online?
No one else online.
Talk about the Davis and Service Drive right there at the corner of Davison and John R. Where the houses, people keep running through the fence and up in the house. We need to look at that and find out why, what we can do. That area needs to really take a look at, to stop it, because it's continuous. It's not something that just happened once. The same as the house on Oakland. You know, it's not something that happened once. We also have to look at the area on Puritan and Hamilton. That area is very dangerous at night. People are rolling through the whole thing. I think there's some boulders there now, but we still have to look at what can be done to prevent that. There used to be a big sign in that lot that said, "Do not turn." You know, here, it might need to be looked at to find out what happened to that sign and why is it gone? Was there a reason that it had to be taken down? Or is it just something that somebody ran over and then it never went back up? That's some information we need to look at. It used to say that you can turn right, I think. Turn left on it,
I think it said no through traffic.
no new traffic,
Yeah.
and then they could turn the other way, they couldn't turn off and go all the way.
Right.
So whatever that area is, that's a problem area for accidents. Again, Earsford, well, it's actually Davison and John R, Oakland. And the John R stretch, I almost got hit yesterday. Because I don't know if it's just, and I don't want to stereotype the young people. But I noticed that what I have seen is people, I'll just say people that, you know, just run through the signs like they're not there. I mean, their signs are here, they're just turning without any evidence of, you know, without stopping. I think it's not even a slow roll through, they're just turning. And so John R might need to have a little bit more patrol through there to see, you know, just to catch something. We got cameras down about, maybe that's somewhere that we can look at posting there to see, you know, just to do a study of what is happening. Why are they rolling through these streets like that? I did get a call about Midland Street. Midland is a one-way, but people going the opposite way, and they're flying down the street. I think they're trying to avoid Pilgrim, because Pilgrim do have some problems. We do have action. So we can kind of get those holes passed up, but people are going the opposite way to avoid streets that have, you know, problems with them. Just to do studies, you know, we need to really take some time and do some studies on what is really, really, really happening and why it's happening. And in order to address it, you have to have that information to look at. Yeah, that's the areas I get the calls about it. And signs disappearing. Street signs, the street sign on Connecticut Street on the corner of Woodward is gone. And it's been gone for now, probably almost up to a year. It's gone. We need to do it take some time to go through the city and find out where the signs are missing. What signs are missing? What signs do we actually need that should be up by regulation? One-way signs, yield signs, we have a lot of stop signs, so I don't see a lot of yield. But also the light on Davison and Oakland, the one where it directs you to the freeway. When you turn, you can turn left onto Oakland going west. Off of, you know, the side you're turning left. The little arrow that's there that says proceed to the freeway. Well, people are using that as proceed through traffic altogether. There used to be another light there that told them to wait, but this lane goes to the freeway. Well, everybody's going to the freeway. And if they're not going to the freeway, they're just going through and keeping on down the road. And that's an accident waiting to happen because people think they're supposed to proceed. So those are the things that we need to do. We need to really take, some time to do. I know we short staff in some ways, but we have to make some time to get these things done. And to prevent accidents, which now can free you up from other crimes, because you're steady running to accidents. And things like that. All right, sorry, let's move on. We just.
No, it's all,
This
it's all
is
good
like-
information. Well, obviously, you're receiving calls, probably more so than we are with these things, so. Some of them we're certainly aware of. I can tell you, like the area, John R. and Brush. What we're finding in terms of responding to, the people striking the property owners, fence over there. Is that it's just blatant disregard of traffic control devices and excessive speed. It's not a geographical situation, or it's not a layout of the freeway or anything that we're determining is, it's bad. It's basically been just blatant disregard of traffic control. And, people are running the lights, going way too fast for that residential area. So, those are the things that we're certainly trying to enforce. I hope that in the very near future, we're able to implement our traffic division again on a more full-time basis. Because I believe that will aid in, correcting some of this, correcting some of these problems that we're seeing. But, we just got to get there. But this is definitely good information that we're getting, and it'll give us a chance to address some of these concerns. So, is there anyone online with anything?
No.
Okay. All right, we'll move on. Pardon me? All right, commission affairs. Does anyone have anything on the commission? Mr. Reese. Oh, can the agenda reflect that, Mr. Reese? Present. Okay. That's good. You got anything? Are you getting any feedback to the residents as far as problem areas other than what's been mentioned?
No, I don't think about it. Now that we had that get followed.
Yeah, I mean, that's something too that the citizens should be aware of. There was a time where our supplier for patch was out, correct?
Yeah, they were still out. This actually came from the second
Okay, so
supplier. Yeah, this didn't come from our normal.
our primary patch supplier was out of product. So it didn't even allow them the ability to fill in holes because it just simply wasn't available. However, sounds like you did some due diligence. You were able to track down a secondary source.
Yeah.
And so that's good news. It's good news.
Try to ride it after them.
Fresh off the truck, huh? All right. Wow.
They will be out tomorrow morning.
All right, excellent news. So everyone heard that. You'll be filling holes. Do we have anyone public comments? Public comments? No one? Yeah, I know we got something. You got nothing for us?
I think they're committed to it.
Well, so none of us know what we're doing, but we're all very new.
Well, you want me to say something?
No, I'm to be honest, but you know what? We are compiling this information, and we are gonna find some sources and some resources to help us solve some of these issues. There are issues that have been going on for a long time. a lot of the stuff with the Oakland Davidson area, it's kind of hard to put a plan together right now, just because we know construction's in the near future. So I don't know what we can, a whole lot that we can do. I think we can certainly do something with signage, because that's something that's affordable and something that we can implement right away. So,
Chief.
yes, sir.
Think about, to the point of, I'm kind of surprised that ain't no more people than this here at this meeting, considering that traffic is a big issue in the city. And I'm very disappointed that ain't no, it's not besides two people being at this meeting. I'm very disappointed that it's only two people here. And the mayor did a good job as far as advertising this meeting. She did it on the city website, on Facebook, everywhere, so it wasn't like, I feel like it wasn't like, nobody didn't know what it was. I mean, it was advertised, that's what I'm saying. And so I'm kind of disappointed because I know I don't just been a big issue. Especially with the roads and the potholes and stuff like that, among other things. But, yeah, I'm not trying to blast the people out like that, that's not my intent. But it's just that I'm kind of disappointed in more people at this meeting. That's it.
No, so I mean, I agree with you. There's things that are concerned to you that maybe I'm not aware of. And, a lot of people may have the opinion that, well, they should know that this is a problem, or, they should be aware of this. But I can be honest with you, all of us are focused on other things, as well. And we overlook things. And until someone brings them to our attention, it may not be as a big concern to me at that moment as it is to you, or to you, for instance. Like, I was not aware that people are actually driving through your property to get to the freeway. To me, that's a huge problem. Especially with there being a cul-de-sac there and a substantial amount of real estate that they have to drive over before they get to Oakland. So, I think that's certainly a priority that we need to look at. Obviously, it's a huge priority to you and your family and a safety concern. So that's just a prime example, unless someone brings something to our attention and maybe we should know, maybe we don't, but someone's got to bring it to our attention. And then, we'll do what we can. I mean, I know we have some limited resources and things like that, but there are a lot of things we can do that are affordable, that are within our scope, that I think can have an impact on some of this negativity that we're seeing. And especially if we work together, I think we can achieve our goals. So for those of you who have attended online and in person, I'm grateful for you guys doing that. We're greatly appreciate it. And hopefully we get some more participation in the future. And maybe if people see that we address these concerns and do something about them, then maybe we'll get some more participation. So we'll certainly be working on that.
So what would fix to that area? Those trees that are on Oakland, they've never been trimmed. They're all overgrown, can't see anything. So that's a quick fix, that's an easy fix, and it would have a great impact on that area. Because those trees are really cool. There's one tree that is literally comes over the sidewalk.
Okay.
Over the sidewalk.
No,
Up right around.
The property, we have to make sure that that's our property. I'm quite, because it's her house. Then there's this vacant space that leads out to the side of it. And so there's this very large tree. There's also a bus stop right there.
Yeah.
And there's, wires and stuff that hangs over. So that tree is always overgrown and it's all over the sidewalk. And the reason I know is that's how I do my walk down Oakland when I do walk. I go that way. But that tree, once we find out after, and that's an easy thing to find out the property line, but does that property actually belong to Highland Park, city,
So at the very least, I know we would be able to turn it back to the side.
off the side, yeah,
Um,
because it actually goes all the way over the side.
I'm trying to picture, does that sidewalk wrap around that entire turn to Davidson? Or does it stop for a minute?
It comes all the
It
way.
goes around, but there are houses on Shawcross, so with their backyard. There's a whole piece of property that sits between the sidewalk and their backyard. The same as with my property and the sidewalk. There's a whole piece of property right there. But because it's covered with trees. I think Dialogue Direct, I believe they cut that, but nobody ever turns those trees.
So let me ask you this, because this would probably directly impact you, and I don't know if this is an option or not, but if it were an option. To eliminate those trees in that area, is that something you would consider, or do you enjoy the privacy?
I would like, if you're gonna have them, at least trim them back. But if the other option is to take them down. then- But I would also solicit the opinions of the residents that are.
Well, sure.
Shawcross, because that's their backyard.
Yeah, sir.
It's just that one tree that's towards the sidewalk that just is overgrown.
Okay. Well, it sounds like we've got to do a little more due diligence. We got to find out, who owns the property. We got to find out, what our options are, and then we got to, reach out to the local residents and make sure we're not, encroaching on any of, what they're looking to see in that same area. I think we have someone who has a hand up online.
Ms. Thomas,
Yeah, sorry. When you were speaking earlier, Chief, I wanted to pipe in because it is true that we do think you all see everything we see. And so I'm glad that you said that, because that that makes me feel like, okay, I won't be bothering y'all if I tell you all things, because I feel like you all see the same things that we do. So I appreciate that comment, and I'll be sure to start to report. And will there be like a reporting feature for things like traffic in the city? Is that part of would there be an online way to report, or what would be the best way to let you all know what some of the issues are?
Well, fortunately, I have our PR person here as well as our IT person, and they're both shaking their head that we will have that ability. And I know we will be compiling the information that we receive, and we'll be able to provide some sort of disposition at some point once we find out what our capabilities are. But
probably use Clemens. We'll use the online reporting in Clemens.
okay,
We'll do a custom feature specifically for that, or we'll use another system that we're gonna deploy. So we're either gonna use our new Clemens system, which we expect to have implemented around end of August, or we'll create something.
Okay.
We're actually working on creating a system to report incidents, potholes,
Mm,
those kind of things. So we may just wrap that all into one system.
okay. Yeah, I know that Detroit has something like that, and I've used their system before. But yeah, I think that would really be helpful for all of us that live here, because we do assume, oh, everybody drives around, or everybody knows that this light is out or something's been hit, So I think it would be helpful to improve communication, and then maybe even, how quickly you all are able to address things, at least moving forward. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
yeah, so like I was saying, a lot of times, you just get complacent with something that's been a problem for so long. That you begin to overlook it until someone brings it back to your attention. You get comfortable with it. We gotta stop that. So.
I think that's the reason that I really wanted to bring this commission back together. Because we really need to have that information. I mean, like you said, you get a report that an accident happened, you get a report that you need to run to an area where, you know, but you can't get down the street because they're parking on both sides of the street, because most people don't know that that's a fire lane street. And nobody should be parking on it. And you know, the same with DPW, although we know that there's a gazillion potholes, you know, but we don't ever know when there's the point of it's tearing up. We know Oakland is tearing up. It don't matter what that time of day. But, you know, and there's other streets that we know for sure are tearing cars, but if there's something that's actually going on, like she said, a tree hanging over the sidewalk to the point where people truly can't walk down that sidewalk, they have to duck and go under the tree. That kind of stuff is gonna be good to be able to report. And we can pull those reports and say, hey, well, this is happening, go investigate. Now, there will be some reports on stuff that we know we can't handle, or we can't, that's not a part of what we should be, you know, trying to do. But at least we have that information.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think it's great. I mean, you know, some of these things I was aware of, some of them I wasn't. You know, and I've been here for a long time. You know, I'm guilty of seeing something being a problem for so long that it kind of becomes second nature, and so until someone brings it to our attention, you know, we have a hard time addressing it, but I think we've got some stuff to work with, and I think some of this stuff we can work on pretty quickly, in terms of getting signs and things like that. So I expect, you'll see some of these, issues addressed relatively soon. So thank you. Does anyone else have any comments? Else? All right, do we have a motion to adjourn? A motion. Have a second. All right. Well, we adjourn, our first traffic commission,